Welcome once again to our commerce classroom. In this session, we will discuss about remedies for breach of contract. Remedies for breach of contract. A breach of contract occurs if any party refuses or fails to perform his part of the contract, or by his act makes it impossible to perform his obligation under the contract. A breach of contract may arise in two ways. We know anticipatory breach and actual breach. When a contract is broken, the injured party, the party who is not in breach, has one or more of the following remedies: rescission of the contract, suit for damages, suit upon quantum merit, suit for specific performance of the contract, and suit for injunction. These are the remedies available in case of breach of contract. Rescission of the contract. When there is breach of contract by one party, the other party may resign the contract and need not perform his obligations under the contract, and may sit quietly at home if he decides not to take any legal action against the guilty party. But in case the aggrieved party intends to sue the guilty party for damages for breach of contract, he has to file a suit for rescission of the contract. When the court grants rescission, the aggrieved party is freed from all his obligations under the contract and becomes entitled to compensation for any damage which he has sustained through the non-fulfillment of the contract. Thus, applying to the court for rescission of the contract is necessary for claiming damages for breach or for availing any other remedy. In practice, a suit for rescission is accompanied by a suit for damages. Second remedy for breach of contract: suit for damages. Suit for damages. Damage means the monetary compensation payable by the defaulting party to the aggrieved party in the event of breach of contract. The object of awarding damage is not to punish the party at fault, but to make good the financial loss suffered by the aggrieved party due to the breach of contract. Then we discuss about different types of damages. First one, general or ordinary damages. When a contract has been broken, the injured party may sustain some damages or loss due to breach of contract. Such damages, which arise naturally in the usual course of things from the breach itself, are called ordinary or general damages. Ordinary damages are awarded only for consequences which arise out of breach of contract. In a contract for sale of goods, the measure of ordinary damage is the difference between the contract price and the market price of such goods on the date of breach. Second type of damage, special damages. These are the damages which are payable for the loss arising due to some special or unusual circumstances. Special damages can be recovered only if stipulated in the contract. Special damages are granted only when the parties know at the time of making the contract that the special loss or damage would result from the breach of contract. For example, the loss of profit arising out of the delivery of a machinery later than the date agreed upon would fall under special damages. Third type of damage, exemplary or punitive or vindictive damages. These damages are awarded with a view to punish the defaulting party who injured the feelings of the others, and not by way of compensation for the loss suffered by the aggrieved party. The cardinal principle of law of damage is to compensate the injured party for loss suffered and not to punish the guilty party. So, The exemplary damages have no place in the law of contract. But there are two exceptions to this rule. First one, breach of contract to marry. Second one, dishonor of a check by a banker when there are sufficient funds to the credit of the customer. Fourth type of damage, nominal damages. Nominal damages are those which are awarded only for the namesake. These are neither awarded by way of compensation to the aggrieved party nor by way of punishment to the guilty party. These are the damages which are very small in amount. Such damages are awarded simply to establish the right of the party to claim damages for the breach of contract, even though the party has suffered no loss. For example, where in a contract or sale of goods, if the contract price and the market price is almost the same at the date of breach of contract, then the aggrieved party is entitled only to nominal damages. Then we discuss about liquidated damages and penalty. When the amount of compensation fixed by an agreement between the parties to be paid in case of breach of contract in the nature of a fair and honest pre-estimation of probable damages, it is called liquidated damages. When the amount named in the contract at the time of its formation is disproportionate to the damages likely to accrue in the event of breach, it will be known as penalty. Third remedy for breach of contract, suit upon quantum merit. Suit upon quantum merit. The word quantum merit literally means as much as is earned or according to the quantity of work done. When a person has begun the work and before he could complete it, if the other party terminates the contract or does something which makes it impossible for the other party to complete the contract, he can claim for the work done under the contract. The claim for quantum merit arises in the following cases. First case, when an agreement is discovered to be void and when the contract becomes void, any person who has received any advantage under such agreement or contract is bound to restore it or to make compensation for it, the person from whom he received it. Second case, when a thing is lawfully done or goods are supplied by the person without any intention to do so graciously to the other person, and such other person enjoys the benefit thereof, he is bound to make compensation to the former in respect of or to restore the things so done or delivered. Third case, when there is express or implied contract to render service but there is no agreement as to remuneration. In such a case, reasonable remuneration is payable. What is reasonable remuneration is determined by the court. Fourth case, when the completion of the contract has been prevented by the act of the other party to the contract, the person who did the work can recover quantum merit for the work done under the contract. Fifth case, when the contract is divisible and the party not in default has enjoyed the benefit of the part performance, the party in default may sue on quantum merit. Sixth case, when an indivisible contract for lump sum is completely performed but badly, the person who has performed the contract can claim the lump sum, but the other party can make deduction for bad performance. Fourth remedy in case of breach of contract, suit for specific performance of the contract. Suit for specific performance of the contract. In certain cases of breach of a contract, the damages are not an adequate remedy. The court may in such a case direct the party in breach to carry out his promise according to terms of the contract. This is the direction by the court for specific performance of the contract at the suit of the party not in breach. Specific performance of the contract may be directed by the court in the following circumstances. First one, where actual damages arising from the breach are not measurable. Second circumstance, where monetary compensation is not an adequate remedy. Specific performance of an agreement will not be granted where the damages are considered as an adequate remedy. The contract is of personal nature Example, contract to marry. The contract is made by a company beyond its powers as laid down in its memorandum of association. The court cannot supervise the performance of the contract. Example, a building contract. The contract is in its nature revocable. The contract is made by trustees in breach of trust, where the contract is inequitable to either party. In all these cases, specific performance of an agreement will not be granted. Then fifth remedy for breach of contract, suit for injunction. Suit for injunction. An injunction is an order of the court requiring a person to refrain from doing some act which has been the subject matter of contract. The power to grant injunction is discretionary and it may be granted temporarily or for an indefinite period. I think the topic explained here, remedies for breach of contract, clear for all of you. We will meet again in our coming sessions. Till then, goodbye.